everyone, it's Lauren J. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I like to do get ready with me style videos using products that are new to me, or just need a little bit more love in my collection. Today I'm going to be using products that are new to me and that need way more love in my collection, and I'm going to theme it all around a smoky eye. So if you're interested in what I come up with, please keep watching. So I am actually filming later at night because I wanted to be in the mood for a smoky eye. Smoky eyes have been the topic of conversation around luxury YouTube because Chanel, of course, just dropped the Éclat de Nuit, the Quad de la Carton, for their new La Nuit de Chanel collection, and I have decided not to pick that up, not because I don't think the palette is gorgeous, just because I feel like I can create a smoky eye with the things that I have in my collection. So I really wanted to go back to some shadows that I have not used for a while and that I really love. So I wanted to do that and just play with my makeup. And then I do have a few new samples of things. I just made a Sephora order for some face cleansers and that kind of thing. No new makeup, but I did get some new makeup samples in it. So I'm going to be trying a few things that are new to me in makeup, but not necessarily new to the market. And I am going to get started off with my eyes. So today I have already done skincare and sunscreen. I've actually been out and about today, so I did have another face of makeup on. I took that off with my micellar water. I redid my brows. I put on a face oil. I'm not leaving the house, so I didn't reapply sunscreen, but obviously if you're leaving the house, you should reapply sunscreen. And I do have a little bit of lip balm on from the several lip balms that I've been wearing today, so my lips are a little bit more pigmented. And I might have a little bit of residual eyeshadow from the eyeshadow that I was wearing, but I've pretty much taken everything off. So today I want to start with a new primer. So I picked this sampler up from Sephora. This is the Dior Forever Iconic Forever Skin Glow, and it also, to my surprise, I did not realize it came with this. It also comes with a sample of the Glow Veil Primer, which I have been really wanting to try, so I'm going to try that today. So we have the bubble of the Glow Veil Primer here. So this is a sample, so I can't be certain, but it does feel a little bit thinner than the Beige, Icy Beige primer that I just picked up. And I'm referencing that because it is the most recent primer that I picked up. And it also has a glow to it. I don't see any shimmer particles. And that is on the back of my hand. Very nice and hydrating. Since I didn't pick up the frosty white version of the Beige primer, this could probably be a good dupe for that. I don't know, but it's what I am reminded of right now is the Beige glowy primers. So we will go with that. Starting off with eyes, I am going to prime my eyes with the Sigma Eye Primer. This is in Ignite. I haven't used this in a while, and I really like the longevity this gave the Viseart shadow that I wore today. Just trying to use some products that I haven't pulled out of my collection in a while. So this one is much drier than, say, the Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick that I would usually when I use those aren't really primers, but I would use those on top of another eye primer as just like a nice base for a shadow to lighten up the eyes. But this one is much drier, and I noticed when I did a swatch on the back of my hand this morning, forgot to wash it off, It really does. Once it dries down, it really just stays. It, like I said, it seemed to keep my Viseart eyeshadow on. I just used one like nice sort of transparent duochrome, but it seemed to hold on to the shadow really nice even after going out in the cold for a long walk. And then I do want to showcase some of my Viseart shadows. So I'm going back into one of my large palettes, and I'm gonna go into my mattes. So here are a bunch of my mattes. Now I've taken a bunch of these out and done sort of little custom quads and 8 pans and all kinds of little things with my other Viseart palettes, but this is what I have left in here. So I kind of have a warm, a neutral, and a cool toned over here. So I'm going to go over to this one over here, and I'm going to go specifically to 2 of these. This one right here is Elk from the Viseart Petite Mattes Cool. I think it's Raspail, R-A-S-P-A-I-L. I think it's Raspail, and this is from the Paris Etoile palette. And I think if you are looking for a really good smoky eye at a not quite luxury price point, I would go with the Paris Etoile 8 pan. That is a beautiful little palette, nice and petite, and has everything that you would need for a beautiful smoky eye. It has highlights and deep tones and shimmery tones and just sparkle. And I don't have the original, obviously, because I depotted mine, but if I find a picture, I will pop one up here. I would definitely recommend that for a beautiful smoky eye. I think that is a really beautiful, versatile palette. It's not a quad, it's a palette. It has 8 shades in it. I believe that one is $44 if it's not on sale, and you can always find Viseart on sale. So I am going to go into Elk here, and I'm taking this little slanted crease brush. I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to put that on and go in. Not really windshield wiper motions, just placing it and bringing it in. So this will be the deepest shade that I use. And it's, like I said, this is from the Petite Mattes Cool. It is probably, I think it is the deepest shade in that palette. I don't think it's the deepest black that I have in my collection. So that's about as deep as I really want to go with that right now. Also, I have hooded eyes, so I'm going to be doing a lot of blending. Then I'm going to go into Raspail, which is right here. And this almost has, it's a gray with almost a blue tinge to it. Using a fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to go in and smoke this out. This crease brush is big enough that it's putting product so that you can see it over my crease, over my hood. So just kind of blending out and filling in at the same time. And sometimes it's nice to just blend, blend, blend. As long as you know, and you do have to be careful that you don't blend too much away. But with these, I don't really have an issue with these blending away. So here we are, very, very smoky eye. I am going to clean up around the brow in a little bit, but the showstopper shade that I want to use for this is from the Lipstories palette. This is the most recent Viseart palette that I bought, and I do not use it enough. It's a beautiful fall color story, but I was looking at it today, and this shade right here is absolutely stunning, and I need to use that on my eye. And so this is going to be that showstopper shade that goes right on the lid, and I'm just going to tap it right on with my finger. Look at that. look at, wow, that's beautiful. Now, I'm not necessarily trying to dupe Eclat de Nuit or anything like that. I know that that is a very, you know, sort of green toned, very, it looks like a brown toned smoky eye with a green topper, or a green or gunmetal topper. And I do have shades. I think I will put up some clips of some options that I already have that I could have used today for a smoky eye, and one of them is the Byredo Metal Boots in the Snow. Now that is if you want a brown green toned, leaning into blue smoky eye. It is grungy, it is beautiful, and it has that sort of green shift to it, and it also has that taupey color in it, that beautiful, stunning taupey color. So mixing those up would be beautiful. It has that glitter in it. I've swatched it, but you don't really need to use, I don't ever use it. It's just there. It's also beautiful for everyday looks, but it is a beautiful grungy smoky eye. And then the other version that I have of from Byredo is the Fates Noir, and that is just a gradient of smoky black shades. One is a little bit green tinged with some gold, one is a flat black matte, one is a flat black matte with a silver sparkle in it. There's a couple of different formulas in there. They are deep and beautiful, and you can layer them. There is also that glitter in there again that I don't use. I have swatched it, but I don't use it. I know some people really didn't like that quint. I think the blacks in there, especially that one that is tinged with gold, is stunning. This is the look with, and just for reference, this is the shade called Verdant from the Viseart Étendu Le Marais palette. Le Marais Étendu. It's an étendu and it's Le Marais. I am just gonna go back into this brush with no extra product on it, and I am just going to go in and smoke that out again. And then I'm just gonna take a tiny little crease brush. I'm gonna go into this one right here. I think this is the lightest shade, I believe, from the Petite Matte's Cool. I'm just gonna do a little bit of cleanup. I don't want it to look super bright. I just want to do a little bit of cleanup and have a little bit of demarcation from my brow. I am going to go in with a liner. This is the number 7 in Cyclone Black that I picked up from the 12 Days of Wizard of Oz advent calendar back a couple of years ago. And this is a black liner with a little bit of gold sparkle in it. And do a little bit of a wing, but not too precise. Actually going all the way in, I'm letting this part be liner free on the inner part of the eye. And I'm just going to go in and pat a little bit more back on towards the inner corner. And I love with the way these are looking, it's kind of like a moonstone shade, but with this smoky eye with the black colors, it turns almost like, it fades almost into like a gunmetal, and I think that's really beautiful. And I like the way that it's sort of, the gold sort of magnifies the blue in my eyes. I think that's really pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna go finish up the eye in a little bit, but for now I am gonna go back and do my base, and I am going to go into the Dior Forever. I'm gonna go with 2N Neutral, because 2N is the Guerlain shade that I use in the terracotta. Iconic Forever Skin Glow, and this comes in 42 shades. Not new, it came out or was reformulated last year. I had it on my wish list to try, but I never actually ended up doing it, so I'm glad that I'm able to try it now. And I'm using again, the Dior Glow Veil Primer underneath. So I'm just gonna go in with a brush. I think that's a pretty good match, even with my paler winter skin. And I have been out in the cold all day, so if my skin looks a little bit dry and patchy, well, it is because it's cold out. Looks really nice, at least on first impression. This looks really nice. I think it's a nice shade. I think it's glowy. Obviously it hasn't dried down yet, but it's a skin glow, so I think this is the non-matte version. And another thing that I have not used in my collection in a long time, this is the Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. I know they've come out with another, maybe more hydrating version of this. I haven't used it in a while because it is very bright and it does dry down very quickly. But doing a smoky eye, I feel like I could use a little bit of brightening under the eye today. So this might be a stark contrast, but I think it'll help. And you really don't need that much. I'm just gonna pat it out with my finger. And I think it works with the smoky eye concept. So I'm not gonna use any powder under the eyes just because this one is pretty brightening and I feel like I don't really need to do anything to it. Okay, so I was just gonna go with the smoky eye with the moonstone and the gunmetal and the grays and all of that, and then I just watched a video from Cassie Thorpe and she had this beautiful blue duochrome under her eyes, and I'm like, I need a little bit of blue today. So I'm gonna go into this one right here. This is just a little palette of Viseart shades. And I'm gonna go into Cubism. This one is from the Beige Étendue. And I'm just gonna go in and do a little bit under the eye. A little pop. I know this is not a new thing, blue pop of blue under the eye, but I just can't resist being a little bit extra. Definitely changes the look. But I think I like it. I'm gonna go into my Noir Allure mascara. Yes, this is the first Chanel product that I've used in this whole video. Aren't you shocked? It really brings it together. It's almost kind of like, not really, but it's kind of like a reverse cat eye, where you have like the focus on the bottom lash. I'm not going to be using any bronzer tonight, so I am just gonna go into my second Chanel product, which is the Douceur d'Equinox Beige Rosé et Mauve. This was from the fall collection. It's really pretty. I really don't wear this blush enough. It's super pretty, especially for this kind of look. Just giving you a bit of that vampiness on the cheeks. Very pretty. And something I have not done in a really, really long time, highlighter. So this is one, obviously you can't get this anymore. This was limited edition and this brand doesn't even exist anymore. This is the Becca Berlin Girl Glow. And I love it because I think that it is a beautiful, cool glow for light skin tone. And I also think that it sort of fits the vibe of the original Rêve de Camellia. Not the new one that came out for holiday, but the original one that came out last, I think it was 2 springs ago, 2 Le Blancs ago. I think this matches that vibe really nice. So I'm going to just go in, and this is just like, I don't use highlighter anymore, but I love this highlighter. And again, since we're doing a going out and being extra kind of thing, I just really wanted to use it, and it looks beautiful with the mauve. Beautiful. I have not worn that highlighter in a couple of years and it's still so beautiful. Okay, lips. So I'm gonna go in with another Dior new to me kind of thing. This is the Dior Addict set of samples quite a while ago, and I've used a couple of them up. I've actually used up Pink Peony completely, but I don't think I've used, I'll have to check, hang on. Oh, I haven't used Dior 8 at all, so I think I am going to go in because it's kind of got that sort of red vibe in it. I've just got a little lip brush here. And this is, again, the Dior Addict formula. So the one that comes in the refillable couture cases. Ooh. It's almost like a brick. Okay, so that was a fail. I like the color, but not with this look, and it was just going all over the place, and I just couldn't make it look right. So I've taken it off, and I'm gonna go into one of my Sephora Lipstories. This is the one in Snow Day. I know it is something else in the not holiday packaging. I can't remember what that is, but anyway, it's a matte, deep burgundy, plum, deep, deep, deep. Yeah, I like that one much better with this look. So it's just a little bit more manageable, a little bit deeper. I like it a lot. I've done a little bit of, I had to do a lot of finessing of around my mouth because I had little smears of red all over the place, because that Dior Addict formula, as much as I like it, it can be very slippy, especially in the sample form. And this is a matte, so it's a lot easier to deal with, but I did take a little bit of foundation and kind of go around the edges of my mouth just to get rid of that more brick color. And it's not that it's not a beautiful color. Like on a summer's day with a different eye look, I would absolutely love it, but just not with this look. I wanted something a little bit deeper, but not like a berry. I wanted like deep. So yeah, I like this a lot more, a lot more. So to finish up the look, I'm going to take a little bit of my L'Exclusives. This is 1957. I think it is just one of the most sophisticated perfumes ever, and so beautiful. And I am wearing my Chanel necklace today. And so this again is the finished look. Now again, I just wanted to do this smoky eye because I've been thinking a lot about the new Chanel release and I don't need it. I think it is beautiful. I don't blame you if you want to buy it, do what you want with your money. But I just wanted to go look into my collection and see what I had and go back and use my beautiful Viseart shades because I have not used them in a while. I also think, like I said, the Byredo quints that I have would do beautifully for either a grungy version of the smoky eye with a little bit of green, or a deep version of the smoky eye with different tones of black in it. I also think if you want sort of those pops of like green or gunmetal or just like something beautifully taupey, this is the Fairy Tale Forest from Lorac. And again, you would have to go into a different palette for the black shades. This one right here, this is Wind. This is a beautiful green going into mossy shade with a little bit of something in it. It's really beautiful. It would also go really well with the Byredo quint. And then you have this one here called Enchanted, which just has a little bit of something. It's a little bit more copper, but it just has that little bit of, you know, duochrome. I don't know, something about it. And these are both those beautiful wet look kind of topper shade with a little bit of like hint of green in them. I think they would look beautiful with this kind of look instead of the version that I did today. If you're looking for that deeper, more green tone something, I think either of these would be beautiful. I also think if you want that smoky eye all in one, and you want something a little bit more purple toned, you have the Lorac Noir, and you have these shades. You have this beautiful color Ink right here, which is a purple toned black and matte. And then you have this one right here, which is Black Violet, beautiful. And then you have these gunmetal shades over here. These are Onyx and Majestic. You've got, oh, this whole row is beautiful. These mattes are really gorgeous. If you want that brown toned smoky eye, you've got those up here. And this one is, I think, $35 or $38, so significant savings even from the Viseart in an 18 pan palette. And this is still available. You can still get it. Lorac hasn't done anything new in a really long time, but this is still a beautiful palette. Same with Fairy Tale Forest, you can still get it. It's their pro line, their core pro line. So if you are looking for something other than purchasing another Chanel quad, I think those would all be really beautiful ideas, all beautiful alternatives. The Byredo quints are a little bit more, those are $75. You can sometimes get them on sale. It's not necessarily a savings, but it's something that I already had in my collection. So I just wanted to give you a few options for if you're feeling FOMO about another Chanel release. I know I always feel a little bit of FOMO, but then I have to look and go like, yes, that's beautiful. I love that. I don't need it. So that is the point of this video today. I also just wanted to feel a little bit glam. I also did want to shout out another YouTuber that I saw. Her name is Miriam A, and I saw her video. She is using products in her collection she already has to sort of, I think the video name was Talking Herself Out of Buying the New Chanel Releases. It was a really good video. She used Pat McGrath in her collection to sort of dupe the look of the Beige blushes and the Eclat de Nuit. So I really enjoyed that video. I had the idea to do this video sort of already, but that popped up in my feed, and I really enjoyed her take on this. So just wanted to give her a little bit of a shout out there. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Any of those would be welcome, and all of them would be deeply, deeply appreciated. So I will see you in the next one, guys.